Hey, all right, no matter how much expertise we have, no matter how long we've been working at this, we could always be a beginner. We can always have a beginner's mind. We can always say, tell me that one more time, teach that to me. I've noticed as we become adults and we've heard information, the alphabet's A, B, C, D, and then we go, oh, I know that. I don't need to listen to that again. I already know all that. I used to kind of be that person too. I used to think if I had been exposed to information, that thus meant I did not need to hear it anymore. But what I am learning now, working with adults very closely, is that I will say the same message 10, 20, 30 times. And then I'll all of a sudden get a message from them saying, oh, I get it now. Like, you've told me this a gajillion times, Heather. I actually put it into practice this weekend for the very first time, and it clicked. Like, I got it, and I say this all the time. Like, I have been saying that, right, for 20, 30, 40 times. Like, this is not new news, and I'm not even bitter or upset about it at all, because I totally get how the human brain works. We hear. It like kind of passes through us. It doesn't really stick. And then one day, all of a sudden, the perfect combination happens. You have heard it enough. You have kind of maybe gotten to an easier place where you can put it into application, or you can try it, or you're motivated to try it, or whatever happens. And then boom, it's like this perfect fusion occurs, right? You've heard the information enough, you've put it into practice enough. And sometimes on the flip side, you can be such an expert, you can be such a wealth of information, right? You can spout it out, it. But when it comes to your application process, like if I couldn't speak to you, and I always use this example, I'm a fly on the wall, and I'm watching you, do your actions show your level of knowledge? And the reason I share that is because we can be very knowledgeable on a subject. We can have the information in our head, but if we're not putting it into application and we're not seeing the results we want, maybe we don't know it as well as we think. And here's the difference. I always talk about theory versus street cred, right? Like, there's a lot of people who sit in very wonderful offices and they write books about certain subjects, and they go on TED Talks and they do all this stuff. They've never struggled with weight a day in their life. They have no street cred. Like, they've never experienced the actual physical pain. They don't know what's actually required on the day-to-day with the mind and the behaviors. And so they don't actually understand what it feels like to do those things. Like, they can understand intellectually, and they can theorize, and they can have an appreciation for. And there's nothing wrong with any of that. But when we're talking about the difference between knowledge and application, knowledge and doing, that is where the sweet spot is. Because you can have a ton of info stored in your head. You can know all the stats and the information and the perfect foods and all of that. But if you're not using that knowledge to change your life because you don't know how to put it into application, or you don't want to put it into application, then really, like, how is that benefiting you? So I just want to encourage everyone that whether you're the information runneth over person, then ask yourself, if you're not where you want to be, if you're not achieving the goals that you're setting for yourself, look and see how you're applying that information. Are you applying that information? Does your actions match your knowledge, number one? And number two, if you're the person who dismisses information that they maybe already have been exposed to and say, oh, I already know that. Again, I'm going to say, does your action show that you know that knowledge? Are you doing those behaviors? Or are they at the same level that they once were when you first heard the information, right? Because as we do things, the longer we do them, sometimes we become a little bit rusty. It doesn't go as well as we would have at the very beginning. So I just want to encourage you never to feel like you can't hear information you've already heard before, and to always question, do my actions match the knowledge I have? Do Do I do those things? And if not, right, what baby steps can I take to move myself in that direction? There's no timeline, there's no deadline. But if I want to move myself in the right direction, how do I go about doing that? All right, guys, I will talk to you soon. Please like and subscribe and let me know how I can better help you. Take care, and we'll talk soon.